What is going on, everybody? Hey, this is your boy JC from JC Sports Talk. And today I have with me a special guest, to come talk about all this craziness that is going on in the NFL that is called the off season. So without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce yourself. And then, hey, just tell them a little bit about you and how long you've been, doing what you do. You're muted. Oh.
What's up, JC? It is Ruth the Truth. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Appreciate you taking out the time. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. If you guys have Instagram, I'm pretty active on there as well. I don't know if anybody caught me going live after the Brady news broke on Sunday, but it's a pretty entertaining video. Go ahead and give that a like and a share at Ruth_the_truth and the number 1 at the end, and I will give you a follow back. But yeah, I'm a multimedia journalist living in Tampa Bay, Florida, just pursuing my dream for sports broadcasting and doing what I do best. And I'm here to talk some football with you because, yeah, it's the off season and all this drama going on is kind of taken away from the clout of the NBA right now, who's on the verge of their playoffs coming up that I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, but I'm ready to get into some football talk with you, JC.
Yeah. Hey, look, since you brought up Tampa Bay, right? Tom is back. First of all, when he retired, did you ever, did you ever think that it was for real? Like what was going through your mind when he came out with this social media post, say, I'm done, and he thanked the Tampa Bay Bucks, and then he left out the Patriots, and then he came back and said, thank you to the Patriots, blah, blah, blah. Did you feel like it was real?
Initially, I thought that was like the ultimate slap in the face. 20 years with an organization, bringing them 6 Super Bowl championships, and then you're not even going to mention them in your whole retirement speech. And we're talking about like six to 8 pages just going on and saying thank you to the janitors and saying thank you to the parking people and saying thank you to everybody selling tickets in the ticket booth, literally saying thank you to everybody except the team that he spent 20 years of his career and what really got his career off the ground. So completely surprised by that. I think that's underlying a little bit more what's going in depth between his relationship with the New England Patriots. I was at that game at Gillette Stadium in Week 4 when Tampa Tom returned to the Gillette Stadium for the first time, and there was a lot of mixed emotions going on in the stadium. There was a couple people booing. There was a lot of Patriots fans that were wearing split jerseys with the Bucks on one side and the Patriots on the other, which I think is don't do that. Like, who's ever even thinking about purchasing a jersey like that? Don't do it. Just buy 2 different jerseys, decide on what day you want to wear it, but don't do the combination. They deserve their respect. But yeah, it's pretty intense when Brady made the announcement that he was retiring. But I initially thought, like, this is too soon to tell, Brady. You just got finished playing. Yeah, it was a really emotional game. You lost in almost a comeback win in the playoffs against the Rams that destroyed you in the beginning of the season. So I was thinking that Tom was getting too far ahead of himself, and I thought maybe he's making this announcement to, I guess, alleviate the questions from the media, because obviously sports media, we don't let it go. We just keep prying. We just keep trying to get answers out of Tom. So maybe this was just his way of being like, you know what, guys, I want to go on vacation and I want to enjoy myself and I want to be able to make the decision on my own. So no, I'm going to let you guys know that I'm retiring, but who knows? But he went on podcasts saying that never say never. There was a lot of little inklings that were kind of
leading crumb drops.
Yes, a lot of that to make us all believe that maybe he wasn't hanging up the cleats after all. So when the news finally broke on Sunday, I just kind of took a deep breath and was like, well, at least Jason Light, the general manager for the Tampa Bay Bucks, has a lot easier job now because he doesn't have to find a quarterback. Because, as you know, quarterback positions are top of the line in the NFL. Yeah. If you don't have a good quarterback, you're not in a good Super Bowl contender position. So I'm glad Brady's back. It's incredible. He's going to be playing at 45.
Yeah.
But all I got to say is the Bucks better get him the protection that he deserves. We lost Alex Kappa. We had Ali Marpet, our right guard, retire. So that's a big blow. Ryan Jensen, the center, has decided to come back to Tampa, which is a relief. But we're gonna have to do some things in the offseason. The Bucs are definitely gonna have to put in some work to make sure that we are back in Super Bowl conversation once the season starts.
Yeah, look, hey, I was glad when Brady came back because I feel like the game is always better when you have a common enemy. A lot of people can't stand Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So a lot of the greats, Ben retired, Rivers retired, Drew Brees is gone. So it's like Brady retires, and then Aaron Rodgers, he's flirting with this whole retirement thing. I mean, we would literally have Russell Wilson and a whole bunch of young guns, that's it. But I like the fact that he decided to come back. I really felt like that, like two reasons why he kind of retired. One, he probably was butthurt that he didn't win the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honest truth, he played that well. I mean, 5,300 yards, oldest, like the number one in the NFL. And man, they really tried to get him that MVP. The play calling was a lot of throws, a lot of airing out the ball, a lot of touchdowns through the air. I mean, I really thought that he was going to win it. And then he had a couple bad games, a couple temper tantrum. And then people was like, oh my God, he lost it to Aaron Rodgers. But I'm glad that he's back. I can't wait to see if he could duplicate from last season. But it's really going to be tough, though. It's really going to be tough. 5,300 yards, 45-year-old quarterback. We've never seen this before. I mean, it's going to be tough. And then Godwin, we don't know when he's going to come back.
And how well he's going to return to form. I mean, ACL injuries are pretty serious, especially in the game of football with that unimaginable turf that people are dealing with on the field. So, I mean, there's a lot of question marks of who's going to fill that void of Antonio Brown that is obviously not going to be in the roster coming forward. But there's a lot of free agents that are finally that should be getting the attention of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization to fill in those pieces around Brady, because obviously it's Super Bowl or bust. We're not thinking that Brady's coming back for longevity. This is most likely going to be his last season. I mean, who knows when it comes to this guy, but we can at least, I think we're a little more confident in saying that the 23rd season is probably going to be his, I guess you could say, last dance for the GOAT himself. So it's going to be really important for the Bucs to play it smart during the draft and make sure they fill those voids.
Yeah, facts. Look, hey, I agree, man. Hey, shout out to everybody that's watching in the chat. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast. And also, if you're not following Ruth the Truth with 1, 2, 3, 10 H's in the back. I'm just messing. Hey, go follow her on Twitter and on Instagram under what? What's your IG?
The Instagram is Ruth_the_truth with the number 1 following, and I will give you a follow back. I'm on Instagram pretty active throughout the day. So yeah, give me a follow.
All right. So let me ask you a question. I see on your profile you a Cowboys fan also, right?
I am.
All right. So I have a question for you. What are the Cowboys doing? In my opinion, like, they came in the offseason with a very good team. Like the best wide receiver core, in my opinion, in the NFL, a good, decent quarterback. The only question to me was their running back. And now it's CD. I mean, I can't say nobody else. They got rid of Cooper. Gallup is still hurt. Wilson got signed by the Dolphins, I believe.
Yeah, Cedric Wilson went to the Dolphins. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was worried that D-Law was going to follow to Miami. And I'm like, what is going on here? It just, I don't know. The offseason for the Dallas Cowboys aren't starting off on the right foot, but at least we could concrete that we have our defensive quarterback and Dan Quinn coming back, because towards the end of the season, there was a lot of interest for him to go to the Saints, who were looking for a head coach. There was a lot of head coaching vacancies that were getting me a little bit nervous about Dan Quinn and his longevity with the Dallas Cowboys. So now that we got him blocked in, I mean, can we at least admit that we've never seen such a drastic change when it came to a single defense in one offseason? Can we at least admit that they made the right changes or whatever they had to do in that defensive locker room? Because I mean, being ranked 31st 31st and then jumping to 6th and maintaining a steady defense throughout the season. I mean, can we at least get some credit for that? I mean, I know everybody wants to talk about, oh, you guys lost Amari Cooper, but that was already a wide receiver that was kind of dwindling for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he's been having an up and down season, and from what I've heard, from what I've read up on, there was a little bit of an altercation between him and Dak Prescott following the San Francisco's 49ers loss, where a lot of things were said that probably can't be taken back. So maybe it is time for Amari to be rebirthed in Cleveland. But you know what they say, people go to the Browns to end their career. So I'm hoping that's not the case with Amari.
Yeah, look, I agree, but I would agree with the move if y'all had a healthy Gallup. I would agree with the move if Dak Prescott career wasn't jumpstart because of Cooper. I mean, this dude, in regards to what people say, he was balling out, but he wasn't getting the amount of targets, I said, because there were too many mouths to feed. So now with Cooper out the picture, do you feel like that CeeDee Lamb is going to be as productive as the past couple of years, being that number one guy now? He's going to get the best DBs every Sunday, maybe double coverage. So everybody want to be a number one until it's time for you to be a number one. Just ex Juju, right? You know, Antonio Brown, he wanted to be a number one. Antonio Brown left, and Juju hasn't fell off. So I'm not saying that CeeDee is going to be like Juju, but Cooper took a lot of pressure off CeeDee because he played the slot. CeeDee played the slots. So now you're going to ask him to go outside and play, you know, a man up. And then, hey, we know that your quarterback in Dak Prescott, he's not the most accurate guy out there. So with that being said, I mean, how much pressure it is on CeeDee to live up to that number 88 that he wear and to be that number one guy now?
There is absolute pressure on CeeDee Lamb right now. I mean, getting rid of Amari Cooper is a big void and a big empty slot to fill. And I think CeeDee Lamb is going to immerse as that wide receiver one for the Dallas Cowboys going into next season. The kid's got the confidence. I know that his abilities kind of dwindled a little bit towards the end of the season. We kind of saw his light be a little bit dimmed, towards the end of the season. But I also don't think he was 100% healthy. So as long as CeeDee could stay healthy and Dak could get him the ball and kind of do better when it comes to his accuracy, because I just feel like there was a lot of uncharacteristic throws that we saw from Dak Prescott. And I don't know if it's the lingering injury. I don't know if it's the confidence, but it just needs to be rebooted during this offseason. And I'm really interested to see how the Dallas Cowboys are going to help him on that offensive line when it comes to the draft, because I also think that was a huge problem. Tyron Smith wasn't healthy. Zach Martin is getting towards the end of his career, so there's a lot of key pieces that Jerry Jones is going to be responsible for making some changes to help Dak Prescott. I mean, you got your running back that you already paid, you got your quarterback that you already paid, your defensive linemen are already set to go. So it's time to get some weapons around Dak to put up some points on the board.
So my last question on the Cowboys, and then we'll move on. How big of a loss it is to lose a Randy Gregory today? I mean, I know that
I'm so confused. Like I was set on Randy Gregory coming back. I mean, the pressure that you could place on the opposing quarterback is one of the most important roles in the NFL. You got to have a guy that can throw the ball, and you got to have a guy that can pressure the ball. And when you don't have one or the other, you're not a Super Bowl contending team. So losing Randy Gregory to the Denver Broncos, I mean, I don't understand it. The Broncos are about to get locked and loaded. They just got Russell Wilson as well, because Drew Luck was not going to make any, substantial offensive moves throughout the season. So Russell Wilson was a huge impact on that offense. And now adding Randy Gregory on the other side of the ball, like, I don't know. Like, I definitely got to read up into it a little bit more about the Randy Gregory deal, because I thought we were on a verge of giving him a long-term extension. So I'm really confused on this okie doke that he just pulled on Jerry Jones. So I'm going to have to read a little bit more into that to see like what really came down to the nitty gritty.
All right, hey, I was laughing. I mean, it was so funny.
Everybody was laughing at me because I literally just posted this morning, like Randy Gregory signing with the Cowboys, and then like everybody started messaging me like, "You haven't heard? Are you okay? Like you're a little late, Ruth. What's going on here?" And I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" Like, I just read this report
Yeah,
this morning, like as soon as I woke up. I don't know what y'all mean. So yeah, a
yeah, yeah.
heartbreaking moment right there. Randy Gregory is that's big shoes to fill. I mean, veteran experience, that twitchy mentality, like he studies the game, so that's a big void for the Dallas Cowboys to fill in this offseason.
Well, hey, it's been rumored that the Cowboys might go after Von Miller or Chandler Jones, but mainly Von Miller because I guess he got a house close to Texas, whatever it is. So hey, who knows? If y'all get Von Miller, I mean, I don't know how much he have left in
Von
the
Miller
tank.
wants to go back to Denver. What do you mean? He wants
No,
John Elway to be his boss again, from what I heard. I
well,
mean, after
okay.
the Russell Wilson signing, he was like, "I'm going back home." Like this LA, like he's not an LA guy. He's a little bit of a country boy. He likes the
But with
outdoors. He
Chubbs,
likes to go hunting.
yeah, but with Nick, no, a Bradley Chubb there and Gregory there. I, I mean, do you think that Denver is going to pay him the money just to come back? Because I think that he got one more year in him, come back, win
Yeah,
another Super
for
Bowl,
sure.
and just go out on top.
Yeah, no, I could agree. If Denver can make that possible, I mean, that would be a miracle. But with cap space, you really don't have money to be paying all these superstars at once. So it's going to be interesting what happens with Von Miller if he's going to stay in LA, if he's going to make moves. I would love him to come to the Dallas Cowboys because he would be a great fit for the Dallas Cowboys in that defensive line scheme.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good luck. Not to y'all though, because I'm an Eagles fan, so I don't want y'all to get
So,
nobody good. I don't want
so
y'all to
I
get
get,
Bobby
I get
Wagner. I don't want nobody.
No, the disrespect with Seattle and Wagner, I was like, what? I didn't
Yeah,
even, and they lost Russell Wilson. I think
yeah.
they're all in on Pete Carroll and his coaching mentalities, but I don't know. There's a lot of mess going on in Seattle as well.
Yeah, and it's a matter of time before DK Metcalf he get aggravated, Lockett, and everybody just won out because I really
Yeah.
don't see any quarterback that's going to go to Seattle right now and be better than a Russell Wilson to help these guys elevate their
That's
gameplay.
that's such a hard division to want to enter. I mean, I wouldn't voluntarily want to go to Seattle either, especially with all. I mean, they really haven't been in Super Bowl conversation since they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots in 2000. Was it 14 or 15? I think it might have been 14.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody ever wants to get over that whole, intercepting the ball at like the 10-yard line to win a game. Like no one's ever going to be able to get over that. I
All
think
right.
I think Seattle's a little bit cursed for right now.
Oh man, that's a shame, man. I like Wilson, and I wish him all the best. But let's all right. So far, like this offseason been so crazy so far, and it's not a whole bunch of quarterbacks. It's like Rodgers, Wilson, Wentz, Kyler Murray. He's not going to play on his until he get a new deal. Baker
Do you
Mayfield.
really think that Kyler Murray deserves 50 mil a year?
No,
I
no,
mean,
absolutely not.
kid, you're talented and it's great and everything, but when it comes to crunch time, you make a lot of mistakes and you turn the ball over. So 50 mil a year, like, who do you think you are, Rogers? Like, no, no. These young cats right now in the league are demanding a little bit too much money. I mean, they gotta look at what Tom Brady has accomplished. Tom Brady was never getting paid top dollar. Tom Brady is okay with getting his contract reconstructed to make some room for the cap space. That's how you win games. You got to be unselfless. This is not a
Mhm.
selfish game when it comes to the NFL.
All right, so all right, and Rodgers. I mean, would you have paid? Would you have cave like the Green Bay Packers did to Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's been reported 4 years. I think $200 million, but today I saw is $153 million. 101 guarantee. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all over the place, but he's been holding them hostage for like the past 2 years. I mean, literally. So how do you feel that they finally caved to Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it wasn't the right thing to do.
What else were they gonna do? Were they gonna turn the ball? Were they gonna depend on Jordan Love to immerse and become QB1? Like, there's no way. Like back-to-back MVPs, the guy has already been in conversations of Hall of Famer, first ballot. Like, of course they were gonna bow down to Aaron Rodgers and his demands. I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, what do they want to see him go to the other side of the NFC and then become competition? Or what? Go to the Bears and be in their division?
Retire.
There's no way.
Retire. I would have I would have called his
We
bluff. If you
we
want to
got
retire, go
Brady.
retire.
Nah, that wasn't gonna happen. There's just like Brady, you don't want to retire at the top of your game, and when you're back to back winning MVPs, you're not ready to retire the game. I mean,
Do you
what
think he
else?
would
What
retire
else is
though?
Aaron Rodgers gonna do? Is he gonna go
Jeopardy.
be? I knew you were gonna say that. He's gonna go be the host of Jeopardy? No, no, no. They don't want that. He's not. He's not ready. He's not ready to leave the field.
Oh man. All right. So Carson Wentz. All right. And Carson Wentz been traded back to back years. All right. The Philadelphia Eagle. They traded him for a first. Well, a second that could become a first if he had played 70% of snaps or take their team to the playoffs. But he played enough snaps to bump that second to the first. We got a first and a third last year. Now he's been traded to the Washington Commanders. Do you think that this is his last stop? If he had a great situation at the Indiana at the Colts with the coach that he wanted to play for, with the number one Russian offense, with a good defense, and just don't
And they
lose this
didn't
game
make the
for us.
playoffs. It's
And they didn't make the
insane.
playoffs. So do you think that this is his last chance to be a starter in the NFL going to Washington Commanders?
I mean, I wouldn't say that there's this last chance. I mean, we've seen like quarterbacks that that deserve to be backups that are still getting starting jobs. I mean, we have Mitch Trubisky that just got a starting position as well. I mean, Cam Superman, hello, like he got a starting job as well. So I don't really think this is going to be his last starting job. Does he have an opportunity to immerse as QB1 and be successful? I think with Washington, he might have a chance. They got an okay offense that Tyler Henneke just didn't know how to orchestrate last season. So it'll be interesting to see. But I haven't been a huge fan of Carson Wentz. Obviously, competing in the same division as the Dallas Cowboys, and he always gets talked that he's the best quarterback in the NFC East right now. And I really never believed that he was way better than Dak Prescott. So, but I mean, he's got to stop turning the ball over. Carson just got to play smarter. And I think he definitely, it was an upgrade from how he played the season prior when he joined the Indianapolis Colts and it was reunited with Frank Wright, the offensive coordinator that he had when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to watch, but Carson doesn't look good in red. That's all I got to say.
I know. Look, I feel bad for Carson. Like, honest truth, man. I mean, I like Carson. Without him, the Philadelphia Eagles would not have won their first Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody said. I mean, he drug us 80% of the way there. That day he tore his ACL. We got the number one seed, like home field advantage. So without that, who knows? We may not even win a Super Bowl. But right. I just feel like I think that he's going to retire early, like Andrew Luck did, because first of all, like his psyche. I mean, just being traded from the team that you wanted to go to, the coach that you wanted to play for. And then after 1 year, I mean, the owner didn't even want to talk to him. He's like, nah, man, you got to go. And
I don't really understand. I don't really understand what happened. I mean, they did get 11 wins on the season. Like, I didn't really feel like he played terrible for Indianapolis. So when I saw that he was really on the move, I was kind of surprised by that because, I mean, what are the Colts going to do now? Like, do they really think that they got a quarterback that's better than Carson Wentz right now?
I mean,
I think they're probably going to make some move for Deshaun Watson, but I mean, the Houston Texans already shut that down because they don't want to trade him to a team in their division.
Well, look, hey, Jameis Winston, he's still out there. I mean, he's still a decent.
Do you remember how mangled that knee got in that game against Tampa Bay? I was actually at the Caesars Dome in New Orleans for that game on Halloween, and that did not look good. And Jameis depends a lot on those legs. So it'll be very interesting to see how he comes back after injury.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Colts are one quarterback away from making it to the playoffs and possibly a deep run. Right. I really feel like it wasn't the fact that he didn't play bad. I think it's the way the turnovers happened, like the way – like you falling back and you threw a pick six because like your decision making wasn't there. I feel like, and then they gave up a first round pick for you. Like they gave up a first round pick. The Colts won't even have a first round pick this year, so they gave up a first round pick to just to bring you over, thinking that you was that guy that missing piece, and you fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
But So where do you think Watson then? Where do you think? Because right now it's been rumored the Saints have interest, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Browns. I mean, all these, everybody got interest in Deshaun Watson. What does your gut feeling tell you? Where did he go?
I have a really, really bad feeling that he's going to end up in New Orleans. I'm a little worried about that, having such a strong quarterback in the NFC South to compete with Tom Brady. But I mean, Brady loves the competition, and I don't think it's going to be hard for him to set the tone for the NFC South this coming season. But I don't even want to see Deshaun Watson play for the NFL. I don't know, all those allegations, being a female, being a victim to those type of situations. It's just it leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. So whatever team decides to make a trade for Deshaun Watson, they just gotta be ready for the impact or the reaction from their fan base, because it's probably not going to all be positive. Yes, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, but he did just miss out on a whole entire season. We have not seen him play in going on 2 years now. So it's going to be, I'm very curious to see if he really kept him, in football shape, and if he's going to be ready to go in the start of the season.
And there's a chance that he still might be suspended by the NFL, just based on,
right. Those allegations are still technically pending. So we don't really know what's happening with that situation. And it's really sad. And I hated talking about it. When I was on the Martin Gramatica show on Z Living, we used to talk about the situation a lot. And when Brady decided to retire and there was rumors that the Bucs were going to make an interest for Deshaun Watson, I was just like, I would love Watson to come here, because I'm going to be that media person that's going to be asking him those hard questions during media days at $1, because it's just a really bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but the NFL though, man, the NFL is a business. It's like, if you're a good quarterback and you're a young Pro Bowl caliber quarterback like Deshaun Watson, hey, But all right, so I think he's going to end up with the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers, the Saints, they might have to give up who? Like the Saints, like they want 3 first-round picks and a star player and some more picks after that. But the Saints are so dead in cap hell. I don't see how they could make that work. And then because Michael Thomas, the last thing I heard, or from last year, he did not want to be in New Orleans anymore. So
after Drew Brees left, he was kind of, he was dissatisfied with the Saints franchise after Brees left. So I mean, and he hasn't been himself either, dealing with that ankle injury that he's been MIA as well. So who knows where he's gonna end up.
Facts. So hey, the tempering period, it was illegal a few years ago, but then the NFL was like, hey, you know what, man? Hey, we can't control this. So let's make it legal for a couple of days before free agency actually kicks off. Me personally, I don't like it, because I want that day you sign is a day that like tomorrow to me is not going to be fun anymore, because everybody already done gave the verbal commitments and this and that. All the big, news are basically done. But hey, it is what it is. Chargers and Jaguars are 2 teams to me that has been super aggressive, especially the Chargers. All right. I think Chicago traded Mack for a 2nd-round pick to the Chargers. They signed J.C. Jackson. They already had Derwin James. They already had Asante Samuel Jr., Bosa. I mean, how good do you think this Chargers defense could be? And could they possibly make a deep run into the playoffs? Because their offense is they kept Williams. They still got Keenan Allen. They still got Austin Eckler. I mean, they still got that young stud quarterback and Herbert. Yeah. I mean, how good could this Chargers team be? And could they win the division against the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Raiders?
They're in a really tough division, but I think the Chargers have the offensive weapons to score 30 points a game. So all they need to do is kind of fix up that defense and be able to shut the run game down just slightly, just ever so slightly. The Chargers need to really improve on that. And I think that they have a chance to at least stay competitive in that division. But as we know, the Kansas City Chiefs is such a an entity all in their own that it's really going to be hard to say whether the Chargers are going to be able to stay elite over the Kansas City Chiefs through the course of the season. But
Wow.
I mean, we have some offensive firepower when it comes to Justin Herbert. I mean, can you believe that he is playing at the ability that he is? I mean, I don't think anybody expected that coming from was it Oregon? A very small school, very quiet, and it's just been crazy to see how Herbert's been able to transition into the NFL, even starting in his rookie year. You guys do remember that he got thrown to the wolves in the Kansas City Chiefs game when his name is slipping me right now, when that quarterback got pierced in the lungs by one of the doctors. Tyrod Taylor. So he got thrown in and ended up taking the Kansas City Chiefs to an overtime game and losing to a kick, which was disappointing. But the Chargers got a lot of great key pieces. They got a great and Brandon Stanley, who is their head coach. I think the guy is incredible, the way he just talks to the team. Everybody's really bought into his system. So I'm really impressed with the Chargers and the direction that they're headed into, because I mean they're cutting a lot of veterans to make some cap room space, so they're ready to reload.
Man, I think, look, I'm about to go out there and just say it. I think it's going to be between the Chargers and the Broncos for the division, because to me the Chiefs have a weak defense, and that's where the Chargers, because look, I can understand if the Chargers offense was lacking, if they needed a quarterback, or they didn't have no weapons. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, this got old man Cook there, constantly. Like he's been in the league for 100 years, but he's still productive. They still have a great offense, but now their defense, 2 lockdown corners, J.C. Jackson, a ball hog, and Dorian James, their best safety, a Pro Bowl safety. I mean, and then Khalil Mack. That was the game changer.
That's a huge game changer. I was like, what are the Bears doing? Like,
second round pick.
I don't understand. I was so confused. A lot of Bears fans reached out to me like, Ruth, what is going on? Can you please make sense of this? And I'm like, I can't help you. I thought they got rid of Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace and that they were going into the right direction, but now I don't know what they're trying to do. But Khalil Mack is out of there, and he's going to be living that LA lifestyle with Justin Herbert on the other side. And I think that's a recipe for some danger in that division.
So to me, the 2 words defense are the Chiefs and the Raiders. And now, the Broncos was the top 5 defense last year, and now they add Randy Gregory. They added a nose tackle. I forgot his name. I mean, they added Russell Wilson to that piece, because last year their weakness was Teddy Bridgewater. He just wasn't that dude that could throw the ball like constantly, game in and game out. So by them adding Russell Wilson with Judy, he's still there with I believe Patrick and all these Patrick Surtain. He's a shutdown corner. I mean, the Broncos defense is legit. So now you got the defense. To me, defense win championship. And you saw how Pat Mahomes, the first 3, 4, 5 games of the season, he wasn't himself. So if they start like that again, I mean, they're going to fall behind. So I'm putting my money on Chargers or Broncos to win that division. But there are at least going to be 3 teams that come out that division in the playoffs.
I mean, that's something that we're definitely going to have to revisit once the season starts, to see what type of position the Kansas City Chiefs and their defense is. I mean, they just got rid of the honey badger too. So it's like, I don't think their defense is getting any better at this point, but we shall see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah. And the other team, to me, that came out swinging was the Jags. I mean, they added a Christian Kirk. They added a Christian Kirk. Let me see who else they added.
They got Doug Peterson as their head coach.
Oh, Dougie P. This time the tight end Evan Ingram for a year. I don't know how well he's going to do, but if Doug Peterson knows about tight end, he loves Zach Ertz. He loved going to tight ends. So maybe, this could, a revive Ingram career. Cam Robinson, he's still there. Their offensive line, Brendan Sheriff, he got signed for a 3-year deal from the Washington Commanders. I mean, they've been very, very active. I mean, they've been so active that they had to cut Miles Jack, because they couldn't afford him. I mean, it's just one of them things where I love what they're doing, and I think that they are really going to surprise some teams. I'm not going
Yeah.
to go as far as say, hey, they're going to be a playoff team, but they're going to surprise some teams. With the second year quarterback, and they had the first round pick right in the draft. I think
They
they had the first round
I
draft
do
pick.
gotta look up the draft order because I need to start doing my studying for the NFL draft. But were they? I think they might have been the worst team last season.
Yeah, because
NFL
Detroit
draft order.
Lion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
Detroit won.
a couple games that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
was.
So yeah, some games that nobody thought that they were gonna win. So yeah, the Jackson Jaguars have the number 1 pick, and Detroit is number 2. The Jets are number 3. So that'll be
So
interesting. The Giants are
hey,
gonna be number 5. The Jets have number 4. Who has number 3 then? I'm trying to figure out. Both the Jets and the Giants have 2 picks among the first 10. The Eagles
we got
have the first
three
three
first.
first, yeah, 3 first rounders. Wow.
Yes,
So
yes, we
let's get
do.
okay. So coming from a Philadelphia Eagles enemy over here, what do you guys need to do to surround Jalen Hurts with some more offensive weapons, or you guys think that you are going to go defense more on this draft? Because I mean, 3 picks in the first round is a big deal.
It is. And then yesterday we signed, in my opinion, one of the best free agent rushers this season, and Hassan Reddick. I mean, this dude had like 23 sacks in the past 2 years. I mean, he's arguably the best rusher that we have on the Philadelphia Eagles. So a lot of Eagles want linebackers, edge rusher, corner. That's exactly what I want. Because last year we saw how the Dallas Cowboys, and yes, the Dallas Cowboys stole my guy, Micah Parsons. I'm a Penn State fan, so I love Micah Parsons. So we saw what a dominant edge rusher, linebacker, whatever a hybrid guy could do for this team.
Wherever you need him, he could
Wherever you
line up in
need
the
him.
slot against a wide receiver. Like the kid is quick.
Yes.
And he's really handsy. So if he's going to get to the quarterback, you could pretty much almost put your money on it that he's going to get the ball out of the hands.
Yes, facts. So I think Hassan Reddick, he could be that guy for us. I'm not going to say, as elite as Michael Parsons is, but this dude, he's been in the league for I think 2018 for about 4 or 5 years. So I mean, he's good. So we want linebackers, edge rushers, defense. But we also wanted a veteran wide receiver because our wide receiver core is trash. That's another reason why I was like, why is Dallas doing? It's so hard to get young wide receivers that you hit on.
Yeah, we got Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith, but that's all we have. Like we have a good, slot. Maybe if we get a veteran wide receiver like an Allen Robinson, or we wanted a DJ Chalk, but he's signed to the Lions, I believe, already. So he's gone. Christian Kirk got overpaid, so we didn't. Well, I didn't want him, but right now, Allen Robinson is the guy that I want as a veteran wide receiver, and then you can focus the draft on defense because we have a running back. If you want to go out there and get a Fournette, you can. You try to repeat the 2018 season where you had Blunt, a big bruiser that helped the Philadelphia Eagle #1 rushing attack. So, a veteran bruiser, a veteran wide receiver, and then the draft defense. I would use 2 of those first pick, linebacker or edge rusher, linebacker or a DB, and then trade away the 3rd first-round pick for a first next year. So now next year, if Jalen Hurts don't work out, you still have 2 first-round picks next year that you could, maneuver around and move up and draft a quarterback or go out and get a free agent quarterback. Who knows? But I would not use all 3 first-round draft picks because you have to pay them. You have to pay them that, 3-4 years from now, you're going to have to pay them. So I would rather use 2 first-round picks and then trade away the 3rd one.
Yeah, so let me give you my take on Jalen Hurts. I I really don't know if it's the lack of offensive weapons around him or his lack of ability to pick apart the defense on the other side of the ball. I think Jalen Hurts, he's really undecisive at times, and he doesn't really make the right decisions a majority of the time. So I think another season to see whether he's going to pan out is pretty fair for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I wanted to know your take on Nick Sirianni, your new head coach. It kind of seemed like he was I don't know, I guess a hiccup at first, but then you guys started buying into him a little bit. So how are you feeling right now about your young head coach?
Well, the whole thing with Nick Sirianni, like I like the dude. When he came in with the whole rock paper scissors thing, everybody took it and and just blew it out the water. It is what it is. I mean, like every interview I've ever been in, they always try and make you relax a little bit. Tell me about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So before they hit you with the hard questions, they try to ease you. So the rock paper scissors to me was like, okay, coach, all right, here we go. You know, and then when he start talking to me, and now I'm like, all right, wait, he's just trying to get me in the groove. My only knock on Nick Sirianni was what took you so long. This whole season, the whole first 6-7 weeks, the Eagle fans, like other teams, like are saying, Eagles, run the ball. But Nick Sirianni, he waited his whole life to call plays. So he came here with his vision of, oh my God, I made it. I'm about to do it my way. Instead of evaluating his players and say, hey, this is Jalen Hurts' first official year. You know, yes, he came in, for 4 games for Carson Wentz with no training camp, this whole mess that was going on. So that was his first official year. So why not help a young quarterback out? Run the ball, use your play action, use his legs, to your benefit. But no, he came out throwing. And then he tried to do the Philly special. He tried to please the fans. But then when he finally decided to settle down, listen to the fans, run the ball, that's when you start seeing his coaching abilities come out. I like Nick Sirianni. I think that the players respond to him very, very well. I think at times he be trying too much to please the fans instead of just being a coach. Just be a coach. So I like Nick Sirianni. I love the combination that him and Jalen Hurts have because they're both coaches. They both their dads are coaches, so they both kind of relate to each other. So, and I like it. And as far as Jalen Hurts go, I feel like he's going to take a big leap this upcoming season. If he's our quarterback.
So we were just talking about we need some wide receiver room for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, I'm seeing on here that the Philadelphia Eagles have agreed to a term for a 1-year deal with Greg Ward, which is going to be a veteran presence in the wide receiver room for the Eagles.
Yeah, but we had Greg Ward for like 4 years. Like he's been on our roster for 4 years. I mean, he's like our Jason Avant, a sure hand. No, we don't need Greg Ward. We need Allen Robinson.
He's like, that's not the answer for us.
That's not it. We need Allen Robinson or
Jarvis Landry, maybe.
Oh,
somebody who's lingering, who just got cut by the Cleveland Browns, which was a little bit of a surprise.
Yes.
Would you say? He was unavailable for I think 5 games last season because of his knee. But I was a little surprised to see that he was cut from Cleveland.
Yeah, facts.
But they replaced him with Amari, so I think that's a good switch out.
Yeah, but who's going to take the pressure off Amari?
Right.
So it's just one of them things where why not keep Landry? But I feel like once they traded for Amari, and Landry went to them and said, hey, could we do my contract or this and that? It was like, nah, we got Amari, so you could kind of walk. So that's basically what happened. So I would love a Landry, a veteran present, with Devonta Smith, with Quez Watkins, and then you could still draft a big body wide receiver in the 2nd round. So I would, but Juju to me, Juju is out there, by the way. I don't know. I have a bad taste about Juju for some odd reason. But he hasn't.
Isn't Juju Smith-Schuster on a long-term deal with Pittsburgh? I thought he was locked in for Pittsburgh. Oh, he hit free agency. Okay, that'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah, he was a free agent last year and ran
Mhm.
back to Pittsburgh for one more year.
Right.
And he got hurt, so now his value is even worse than it was last year when he went into a free agency. But guess what?
Mhm.
Dallas need a wide receiver, so who knows? Y'all might bring in Juju for a
No, I
short
want
term
Jarvis.
deal.
I'll take Jarvis.
No,
I'll take
no.
Jarvis. Yeah, or Allen Robertson from the Bears as well. I feel like that would be a great pickup. No young blood.
Y'all can't
We need
afford
some veterans.
Robinson. Y'all cannot afford Robinson. Y'all just let Cooper go.
So we freed up some cap space. What do you mean?
Because of the amount of money that he was making, y'all let him
Yeah,
go.
15 mil a year. Get out of here. There's no way. There's no way. No productivity on the field.
All right, so a couple more questions. All right, so what are you looking towards a free agency? What other big moves are you waiting for to happen? Like big news to drop?
Chris Godwin and his long-term deal for the Tampa Bay
Mm,
Buccaneers. I don't want them to franchise tag him. I think he deserves a long
yeah,
deal for all the things that he accomplished on the field last season. It is questionable to know how he's going to return off of the ACL injury that he faced during the Saints last season. Very dirty hit by the Saints, by the way. But yeah, Chris Godwin already played on the franchise tag last season. So
he
give him
did.
his long-term deal. Let him be a long-term buck. He's that great AB, that AB 1-2 punch when it comes to him and Mike Evans, especially
Yeah,
big red zone threat. So Chris Godwin is somebody I'm keeping an eye on in free agency, and I hope he makes a return here to the Bay.
yeah. The only thing is his injury. The same thing with Gallup. Like we don't
Yeah.
know, and I think it was like a week apart or something like that. I think Godwin went down, then Gallup went down. Whichever
Mm-hmm.
one happened. But a torn ACL, especially as a wide receiver, you're cut, your stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to get back to that full strength and be able to trust their knee. But Joe Burrow did it. But he's a quarterback, so
Yeah.
you don't have to cut like that, like a wide receiver has to. So,
Mm-hmm.
but nowadays, hey, with modern technology, hey, I
Right,
think we'll be
science.
fine.
I talked
Science.
about it. I used to talk about it on the show all the time with Martine. He was like, "Man, if they had the sports medicine available now if they had that available back then that they have available now, then I probably wouldn't have dealt with half the injuries that I had to deal with, and I would have been back on the field a lot quicker." And it's crazy how science has been able to evolve. Back in the day when you would face an ACL, MCL injury, you would be out to a year and a half, and now it's
Yeah.
like 6 months. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy how they cut back the recovery time for these injuries.
Yes, facts. So look, my biggest surprise in free agency, I can't wait, even though he's not a free agent, is Kyler Murray. I have to see if
Yeah.
the Cardinals is going to cave. He still have 2 years left on his deal, by the way, on his
Mhm.
rookie deal. So, is the NFL like with all these guys? If they're not happy, they want a new contract. I mean, is this a bad thing for the NFL moving forward?
I think it is. I mean, it's always very questionable when we see these athletes kind of boo-hooing about their money and about their kind of deals, because as fans, we always feel like our franchises do the best that they can to spread the money around to keep the talent. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But I mean, you never want to hear an athlete complain about the money, because then it's kind of like, all right, do you love the game? Do you do it for the team, or do you do it just for a paycheck?
Okay, but how about Devonta Adams? He played on franchise tag last year, and now it's been reported. I don't know from who that they got offered what $23 million a year, and he turned it down. So I mean, how much of a contract should Devonta Adams? To me, the best wide receiver in the NFL. So right now, he said that he's not playing on no franchise tag at
Yeah.
all. So he might sit out. What?
And that's crazy to think about, because I thought it was lingering on whether or not Rodgers was going to return. So now that they locked and loaded Rodgers for the next 4 seasons, I thought it was going to be an easy signing with Davante. But I mean, we got to give his flowers when he deserves it. He knows that he's the best in the league, and he deserves to
Yeah.
be paid top dollar. And play no player wants to play on a franchise tag, because that's not security. I mean, that's a 1-year deal. If something happens to your body, if you can't
Yeah.
play the same, if you can't perform the same, you might not be getting paid the big bucks when it comes to the next season. So Devonta Adams being put on a franchise tag, I think would be a slap in the face. So I think the Packers front office are going to figure it out to give him a long-term deal. Because, I mean, if you know that Rodgers loves Adams and that's like his favorite weapon, then you might as well sign him to a 4-year deal to be there just as long as Aaron Rodgers will be.
Yeah, I mean, look, he played on a franchise deal last year, and that's a problem. Like, what? I mean, why do this to him? Like, you saw Godwin; he tried to play on a 1-year deal. Boom, he got hurt.
Now he's hurt. Yeah.
Gallup, the same thing. Boom, he got hurt. So it's not a guarantee that you might be able to play. And now you messing up your pockets. When you could have got paid even more. So
right.
But we'll see what happens. So look, let me see. Somebody want to know: is this Tom Brady last year? Is this last year?
I would be surprised to say whether I can't say for sure that this is going to be his last year. I mean, who knows? We might see in the first couple seasons that he doesn't have the protection that he's had in the past, and if he hits his back on the field too many times, he might end up retiring right there at that moment. Like Giselle might be coming down to the field and saying, "You got to go. It's time to go home. No more concussions for you." But it's a testament to Tom Brady and his passion for the game that he's still playing at this age. I mean, guys, before the season starts, he's going to be 45 years old. His birthday is August 3rd. So I'm pretty confident in saying that this is going to be Brady's last season strapping up as an NFL quarterback. Okay. But it's going to be interesting what he does next. Like, football's your whole life. So, I mean, are you going to own a team? Are you going to coach a team? Are you going to be in the broadcast booth? It's going to be really interesting to see what Brady does with the rest of his life.
Yeah, I heard something though that he was so.
Tom Brady's going to retire at halftime.
After one hit.
After Aaron Donald trucks him over one time, he's like,
yeah, again, like deja vu all over again. And now with Gregory, man, he's not in the same division. So, but they're good though. But the South is, I mean, it's the Bucks, a division to lose basically. Like the South, you got Matt Ryan, who's Carolina quarterback. I don't know who's the Saints quarterback.
Sam Darnold or Cam Newton. I don't really know.
Get Taysom Hill with the Saints. Who knows? I mean, so it's his. That is probably the easiest division besides the NFC least they call it. But I really think that the NFC East will be a lot better than people think, with the draft, with the new head coach, changes with the Giants. Who knows what might happen? So, so are you ready for the draft? Are you covering the draft this year?
I will be covering the draft. I don't know if I'll be at the draft, but I will definitely be doing a live stream for NSPN, probably partnered up with the Sports Arena as well. We'll probably be doing like a live stream covering every single move of the NFL draft, at least the first couple of rounds.
Okay. Look, I appreciate you coming on very much. I know that you're a busy woman. So, I mean, just to end the show, just let them know, a little bit about you, like what you're working on, what you're going to be covering, and where they can find you at.
All right, guys. My name is Ruth Kakias, better known as Ruth the Truth. That's my Twitter tag right down below, Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. Give me a follow. I try to be really active on social media, and I don't just post sports stuff. I do a lot of motivational quotes, and I find myself being a little comedic sometimes. So when I have a funny joke in my head, I like to tweet about it as well. But I'm a multimedia journalist working on being a sports broadcaster. I'm hoping to be on FS1 or ESPN, a major network, in the near future. I want to be the next Doris Burke. And if you guys know who that is, then you already know that I'm on my way. But covering, she is the GOAT of all women broadcasters. Yeah. But it's really tough to decipher what I like more, NFL or NBA. So I try to be active on both of these. On both leagues because they're just very super important to me. But basketball probably has my heart just a little bit more just because I played basketball all throughout my, middle school, high school years as well. But yeah, give me a follow on Instagram as well. I like to go live anytime there's big NFL free agency news or, Brady deciding to return. I'll go live. So follow me, Ruth_the_truth with the number 1 at the end, and I will give you a follow back. But JC, this has been a great time, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Well, thank you very much, and likewise. And hey, good luck this year. I don't really
Thank
mean
you.
it though, but I don't really mean the Cowboys though. But I just gotta say anyway. And one more thing: Happy Women History Month. This is y'all month. For all the women
Appreciate
out
that.
there. Professional, personal. I mean, hey, y'all don't get enough credit. So that's why I like to bring women on my platform to talk sports, because that's the little common thing that women don't know sports. So I try to do my part. I do have 5 sisters myself, so I am pro
Wow.
women. so yes, I grew up a lot around a lot of women, mom, grandma, so 7, 8 females in the house. So I mean, that's why I love when women know what they're talking about, and shut some of these guys up. So I appreciate you, and happy Women History Month.
Thank you so much, JC. Take care.
As always, go Birds.